Normally on Saturdays, I like to finish filling in Sunday too, but I don't even want to think about tomorrow yet. I really don't. I have too much today that I'm figuring out. Am I in denial? Maybe. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, April 6th. It is day 6 of Plan As You Go, where I show how I use my power sheets, my Erin Condren horizontal, and my bullet journal in tandem for an entire month. Yesterday, I almost had a panic attack, and I think it's just because I'm overwhelmed with the sermon, with all the things I have going on. There's just a lot. I've been talking about this, I've been alluding to it, and I still can't tell you all the things that have been kind of happening yet. But even when it's good things happening, even when it's things I'm excited about, like Plan As You Go, like writing my sermon, like these other projects, it's still, when they're all on you at the same time, it can get really stressful. And yesterday there was a point where I was like, oh fuck, I am gonna have a meltdown. I didn't, but it felt like I was. So today I actually have already made a list to begin my list, like a list for my list to like just think, what order do I have to get things done in today? Because it's not a relaxing Saturday. I will relax eventually, one day, probably towards the end of the month when we have our social media free weekend. So let's take a look at my power sheets really quick. I don't even think I'm going to be answering questions in today's video. I just need to get through this because I have so much to get done today. I actually was able to get a lot of my weekly priorities done yesterday. I finally hit inbox 0. It's kind of inbox 0. There's a few emails that are still being worked on, but they're in progress, like they're chains. But I got through the 99% of the majority of it, or I've set some things aside to respond to next week, but like everything's been looked at the very least. So yay. And we cooked with asparagus, skillet with garlic and shrimp and lemon and some other stuff, and it was goddamn good. So we found at least one asparagus dish we can all agree on. And I checked off going through my social media feeds for the spring declutter. I could still probably do a little bit more of that, but I'm not worried about it right now. I am not worried about anything on this list today. Because today I have some priorities: getting this video filmed and the other one edited and uploaded, grocery shopping, I have rehearsal, I need to finish my sermon. It is mostly written, but I needed to step away from it last night when I was starting to stress out, so I still have a little bit of that to finish, and I have a hangout with my patrons tonight. So I have priorities today, and my power sheets are not like any of them, basically. Going to my Erin Condren, yawn. Did that, I did that, I did that. I'm not sure I did that. And I did not do the agenda. I have to send that today too. Ultimately, I think I'm just going to write finished sermon on here because with everything else going on, and even with the other things I need to get done, that's probably going to take the majority of any extra time I have today. Now, normally on Saturdays, I like to finish filling in Sunday too, but I don't even want to think about tomorrow yet. I really don't. I have too much today that I'm figuring out. Am I in denial? Maybe. I had another rough night last night. I feel like it might have been because I had just been so stressed out that I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing and I overdid it. It's okay though. It's okay. I'm going to do my best to not have a rough night tonight so that I can go into giving my sermon tomorrow with a clear head and not the morning like grogginess I get from taking a painkiller. Today's doodle is Karen. I may put her right here next to Plankton. There's Karen. There are tools going on outside. My son is having breakfast in the kitchen. My husband is on the phone. There may not be background noise. You may not hear it because of the microphone, but if you do, that's Saturday morning for you, my dudes. All right, today's lettering is mola mola. Mola mola. It just sounds like something you would yell when you're having a rough morning. Mola mola. I'm sorry that I'm not super chatty this morning, but like I said, I am stressed. When I get to my to-do list in a couple of minutes, I will kind of show you something that I do when I get into this like zone of feeling really just out of control, which is where I'm at this morning. It's this reality here, heart palpitations and all. I did renew my P.O. box, which was not something I expected to do. I was there, so I did it. Anyway, looking at this, I got a lot of this done. I did not get all of it done, which is what I've kind of explained already. All right, so I'm going to put some washi tape down to start another spread, but I'm going to do something a little bit different, I think, at least for today. I love this Simply Gilded washi tape, by the way. Now, normally I've been doing my list like this. Today I am going to do I'm going to call it my like panic list, my buckle down list, however you want to refer to it. You notice I'm using my bolder pen instead of the skinnier one. That's mostly because I forgot to change pens, but I actually think this will be better because I want it to be bolder. What I'm going to do is write my list of things I need to do in the order that they need to be done, and I'm going to make a bigger check-off box because I just want the satisfaction of being like, check, when I do them. Because all of these things need to get done today, and I need to do them in kind of a specific order because of there's so many things I'm juggling that we're just going to go through it. So as you can see, here's my list for the day in rough order. I'm going to check this off because I'm finishing filming this right now. But I found that a big visual list like this can really help center me, especially if it's in order, because then I can just be like, okay, done, boom, boom, and the momentum starts to build. I can tell you right now, looking at this, when I get to finish sermon, the momentum's going to slow a little bit because it's going to be the thing that takes like the most mental energy. But if I can get through all of this before noon, then I'll have 3 hours or so before my rehearsal to finish the sermon, which should be plenty of time. Now I should just stop talking and get to it. I would love to know in the comments, what do you do on a day like this where you're overwhelmed? How do you cope? Do you make a list and check everything off? Do you run around like a chicken with your head cut off? Do you have like a method for just focusing and getting things done on a day where you feel like everything needs to be done at the same time? Give us some tips in the comments. If you struggle, tell us about the thing you struggle with the hardest, the thing that's hard for you on days like today, so people can maybe give you tips. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow for the next Plan As You Go video.